You know just how to bring me back to love, back to love. Girl to boy, boy to girl, we are born, bringing love into the world. Boy to boy, girl to girl, we're bringing love into the world.
Hello everyone, I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. Thank you so much for joining me. My guest at this time, currently residing in Canada, is award-winning producer and dancer who recently released a brand new single entitled Love to the World. Please welcome Rosita Stone.
Hi. Hello, world. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you as well. Yes, the nice technology we were able to do this.
I know.
So thank you so much for hanging out with me.
Excellent. Excellent.
All right, so before we dive in too deep, I know we got a lot of stuff to cover. You've been very busy lately. I want to kick this interview off with a fun question. What music have you been listening to this week, Rosita?
Oh, it's such a mix. Well, I've heard my song a million times because I'm working on it and this and that, sending it. But I've listened to, everything from Chris Cornell to Imagine Dragons to some like old jazz, old school, everything. It's a real mix. It's really it's not like one thing ever. I don't just listen to one type of music almost ever. Like I'll flip back and forth. It drives people nuts, but yeah.
Right.
How about you? What kind of music do you like?
So let's see. This week I've been mostly listening to the Almas. They're a really awesome band out of Wisconsin.
Nice.
I just interviewed them, so I've been listening to their music. And then Everclear, because I just saw them live. So,
oh wow, yeah, I like Everclear too.
Oh, they're really awesome. I got to meet them, and they're so cool.
Excellent.
So yeah, that's mostly what I'm jamming to. I've been listening to some blues as well.
Yeah.
I don't, as similar to you, I don't really stick to too much of the same genre as well. It's kind of whatever I'm feeling. I'm putting together my show for Friday, so like I've been trying to figure out a good mix of music for my show too. So
Right.
I've been trying to listen to a lot of different stuff because it's fun.
Right. Yay.
All right, so folks, and you, I am chatting with Rosita Stone right now. So how did you get started as a musician?
Well, how did I get started? My family was pretty musical, and my mom played, the Mexican rancheras on the guitar, and my dad is on the fiddle, and we lived in a bunch of different places and absorbed different, influences and from different cultures, but and always listening to music, always. And we had a piano. We always had one around, so I just learned to play by ear. And I really started out as a dancer. I was like in dance class doing this and that, like constantly doing shows and competitions. And eventually I moved to Toronto and I got a record deal with this dance label. And I've just sort of been in it ever since, It's been, there's been a lot of things that have happened actually, but really, from when I was little, I just loved music. I loved to dance, especially, and I just loved to be around music and in live events. And my parents used to sneak me into live events when I was little. So, yeah, it was one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you started as a dancer. When did you transition to becoming a musician?
Well, out of high school, really, I started to play more and more piano. I mean, I played piano at home. It was there. But I didn't really focus on it as much until I was older, until I was after 20, because I went to a few lessons. Like I used to play by ear. I would just hear something on the radio or hear something and just play it, figure it out. And then I went to take lessons and she would slap my knuckles with her pencil, smack, 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 every time I made a mistake. So it made me want to not take lessons anymore. So I dropped it and I got really deep into dancing I was in Toronto. I was in some dance companies, and we traveled and we did some things. And I was like, it went in, right? It was like, and then I got myself a piano. I thought, what have I been doing? And I've been writing ever since on one.
That'd be kind of discouraging for
Yeah.
lessons like that. Like, I wouldn't want to do that.
I know. It's so discouraging. I can't believe it. I didn't tell my mom. I should have told my mom. She was smacking me on the knuckles. I mean, who does that? Really,
Yeah, especially when you're like just learning. Of course, you're gonna make
You're a
mistakes.
kid, like exactly. It's too barbaric. It's too mean,
It is. So, well, I'm glad you picked it up again, and you're back producing music. So, I mean, that's at least you came back to it.
That's right.
So, who are some of your influences? Like, what for the style of music you have?
Oh gosh, see, I've recorded songs in different styles. It's really depending on who I'm collaborating with or who's involved, or if I'm just writing from piano, it's really emotional. It could be, my influences are, oh my gosh, it's vast. Everything from like, music from, all different kinds of music from Latin America to, when I was growing up, there was, was a little girl like Madonna. I mean, but I'm not, she influenced me as far as like the dancing and all that. But I love rock. I love all types of music. I love gospel. I went to school in Houston as well. My dad lived there. And so I lived in America. And one of my biggest influences was I used to go to my friend Trina's gospel church, like her Baptist church, and they used to sing like gospel, and I was the only like light-skinned person there every week. And that's where I really was imbued by that vibe and that gospel vibe. So that's really where I got a lot of my education from, is just hanging with them and just giving it, and singing. And, that was a huge, huge inspiration and education.
Yeah, for sure. I've been to churches like that. It's very they're choirs and gospels. It's very
Absolutely.
powerful.
Yeah. So I'd say that's where I got most of my influence as far as singing. And I mean, and then there's everything else. I mean, my dad loved, he loved, Cajun music and country music. So I've, and then my mom was on the other side with her, spicy stuff. So, and then my brother was into metal and, and then, I also like old school funk too.
Yes.
I really like it, just cranking that. You know what I mean? Like the old school. It's the best. I love dancing to that.
Yeah, I was with the funk music. I have a old funk CD. It's kind of a compilation. I don't remember who's exactly on it, but I was driving with my brother in my car, and he's like, "Dude, what is this?" I was like, "Hey, put it in, man. It's some funk." But he doesn't really listen to it. I was like, "Dude, you should put it in," and he really enjoyed it. So like,
Good.
I haven't listened to funk in a while until like we put that CD in, but yeah, it's some good stuff. A lot of grooves in funk music.
Exactly. Totally. I love it. For my songwriting though, I'm really influenced by how I feel in the moment and what the energy is and like what's going on, as opposed to being influenced by a songwriter. Like I don't necessarily hear a song and say, "Oh, I want to write a song like that." I don't think I've ever done that. But it's more of like, what is my mood? And then what does the song bring out in production? Sometimes it's just piano and vocal. Other times it's more, it really depends. Right.
Yeah, it's I always kind of ask that question just to see like obviously mood is really important, especially if
Yes.
you're trying to capture like kind of the emotions in a song and stuff. But it's always just interesting when people kind of like listen to what they've been brought up on and what's kind of the inspiration for their writing and stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
But very recently, I believe it was last month in June, you released a brand new single entitled "Love to the World."
Actually, it was just in July. Actually.
Oh, July.
Yeah. Just July 9th, just days ago. Yes.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Sorry, in July.
Yeah.
July
No
9th,
problem.
released "Love to the World." How was it writing and recording the new single?
Well, it was really interesting because the first time I've done a process called top lining. I don't know if
I'm not familiar now.
Top lining is where the music is done. It's like a collaboration. The music is done, and then it needs the melody, the lyrics, the vocals. So it's like a 50-50 thing. So there's a producer in Los Angeles who I was introduced to, and he really loved what I was doing. So he wanted to collaborate. We wanted to collaborate. So, it's also a pandemic, and I'm in Toronto, he's in Los Angeles. So he sent me a bunch of tracks just of stuff that he works on. He's works with like Fergie from, Black Eyed Peas and Slash. Slash is one of his buddies there. And Rihanna, he's done stuff for all sorts of people. Like he produces for a lot of different people. And so he had from A to Z, but he sent me a few tracks and I listened to them. It was only, 30 seconds. And I heard the one and I thought, I like that vibe. Let's try that. So he sent me the track. And it's the first time I'd worked like that. It was really cool though. And I came up with, so many different songs. Like if I played you all the other ideas, it's the same music, but a different, verse, chorus, everything on it, like completely different. And then in the end, I had 2 songs and I asked my 12-year-old daughter, which one did she likes better? Really, because I loved both of them. I loved both the choruses. I loved, when I was really stuck and I was about to do the vocal here in Toronto the next day, and I still didn't know which one it was going to be. So she helped me pick it, and I'm really glad she did. So I recorded the vocals here and produced the vocals here in Toronto with another producer I work with. His name is Dennis Nieves. He's amazing. He's done a ton of work in Miami. He's been in Miami for the last 20 years, and he moved here, and he's done like remixes and work for like Shakira and J-Lo and all of them, all of them. And he's only, 30 minutes from me, which is incredible. So I did the vocals there. We produced them there, then sent them to Chris, and Chris mixed it and mastered it. And that's how it turned, how it turned out. And we absolutely love the song. Chris loves the song. And he said his wife loves it more than anything he's ever worked on. I'm like, yes. So it seems to be getting traction now. I'm just working it, so that's how that song happened. It wasn't just me sitting at the piano and coming through with something. What I did is I had the music, and then I just made up my own chords, like I sort of my own voicings on the piano. So I would just kind of play it through and come up with something. And yeah, it worked. It worked. It's the first time I've written like that. So
yeah, I really enjoyed the vibe of it. It really,
it's a cool vibe, hey?
Yeah, really, it just really sets the tone for it, especially when you first start listening to it. But yeah, it's really cool. Just like the whole kind of everything around it, it sounds very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy with the production. I mean, he's top notch, top class, a producer, and our collaboration just turned out to be amazing. The way the vocals turned out here and the way it was done, and then we sent the files over there, and then he mixed it. Yeah, so it's the first time I worked like that, and it's okay. I mean, it worked. It worked, and it worked better than we thought. I really love the song. It's really I mean, it can reach a lot of different audiences, and because the vibe is very, very radio friendly, it can go, to a lot of different formats, and so we're just working it.
Hey, that's what you gotta do, especially when you release a new single. So Big Chris, the producer, was that your first time working with him on a single?
Yes, yeah. We're gonna do it again. Yeah, we're gonna do something else as well. But yeah, it was my first time. Definitely. When's the first time you heard it? Just a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, right around release, because Maggie contacted me.
Right.
Hey, check out this new single, and I was like, wow, this is really good. So yeah, so it was pretty much around release. It's probably the 10th or the 11th of this month.
Nice. Yeah, we're happy with it. So.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, Chris, he's really cool. I've known it. I know of him.
Yeah, you do. Oh, excellent.
I like Slash. I really do. So like, I know him
cool
because of Slash. So So as soon as I heard that, I was like, man, this is gonna be pretty good. I know he's the high caliber producer. Really, he makes just everything sound just like so good too. Like he's so smooth with everything he does.
I know he is. I'm very happy with it. Extremely happy. So is he. He loves it.
If you like something you produce, I mean, I hope
Yeah.
that's the outcome you want.
Exactly.
So for sure. So like, anyone who hasn't listened to Love to the World, what can they expect? Like musically, lyrically, all that stuff.
What can they expect that's going to happen, or what can they expect from the song, or
From the song.
when they first hear it?
Yes. We'll go with that if they haven't listened to it before.
Well, everyone that's listened to it absolutely loves it. I haven't heard anyone that says your music sucks, right? I haven't heard that yet. I heard, I was involved in a concert with the same name, Love to the World, and one of the producers, I'd say maybe mid-50s. He cried when he first heard it. He heard it over and over. He played it literally over and over like 5 times and just sat there bawling his eyes out. And I thought, oh wow, I didn't know I reach that demographic, and then my 12-year-old daughter's friends absolutely love it. So it's one of those songs that when people hear it, it's like, it's a really simple, like I can really sing, like the gospel style, not blues, and really nail that. And this song the vocals are a little bit more sing along and because the other version I had was really singing out like, but picking this version, it's just people are able to sing along and they just love the tag and the chorus, and I don't know. I'm hoping everyone's going to love it. You know what my goal is? To turn this into the next global anthem.
Yeah, I really like it. It's really it's got like a chill, like mellow vibe to it, but it's also very catchy.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what I really noticed when I listened to it a few times. It's like I can already kind of understand, like I can already sing along to it. It's very pretty easy to get stuck in your head too, because I had it stuck in my head for like the next like day afterwards. So I'm like, yeah, this is good.
Excellent. I love to hear that. Yay.
So definitely check out Love to the World. I will have a link for the music video, which I'm about to talk about, in the description. So obviously, as I just said, to go along with the single, there's a music video for Love to the World. How was it filming that?
Well, as most of my ideas come in my sleep or at night when I'm laying there, I thought, okay, what am I going to do with this? Because I produce and direct all my videos as well. Like I come up with the ideas and I have to find the funding or piece it together however we do it as artists, right? And so I didn't know who's going to help me do it yet, which videographer. So I came across a man named Eddie, and who is an incredible, I saw him online. Like I was looking for video, literally, I was just putting it out there. And there were these incredible videos, but they were wedding videos, but they were like, wow, this is like really cool. So I reached out to him. I said, do you do music videos? Yeah, he does everything. So, and he happens to live in Whitby, where I live, which is like an hour outside of Toronto. He literally lives down the street from me. I was like, wow, okay, great. So, and my daughter does Brazilian Capoeira. I don't know if you know, it's a Brazilian martial art. It's a mix between acrobatics, dance, martial arts. And the history is that the oppressed slaves, African-American slaves of Brazil, they hid their skill inside of the dance against hid from their oppressors. And it's this incredible, like if you look up Capoeira, if you see the video and see what's happening in it, that's like just a taste of it. It's incredible. So my daughter's what's called a capoeirista. She does a Brazilian capoeira, and the academy is not too far from me, and in Scarborough, where she goes. And I just had this vision in my head of them. Like when you hear the song, like there's parts of the song, at the end of the chorus, and in the there's parts of the song where I just envisioned her instructor doing this thing in the air and in sort of slow-mo and all this. So I got this idea and I brought it up to them and they said, yeah. So we went there and we just organized it to go into the academy. and just there were 4 of them and myself. I've done capoeira as well, but I wasn't being featured in it at this time. But I'm not as good as they are because I had just spin so many plates. I want to get to it, but I had a wrist injury, and like there's a lot of work. You have to like go on your hands and do all these things. So anyway, yeah. So we filmed it. It was incredible. We just got all sorts of different shots, and then we went to Eddie's to his friend's studio, like loft in Toronto, and there was a swing inside of it, and there was this couch. So I had like a suitcase full of things I could wear. We had no plan at all. I just knew that, you know, the capoeira was going to be in it, and it was just going to turn out great. You know, like normally I would sort of, you know, figure it out ahead of time or maybe storyboard a little, but this was just done on the fly. And we got there and okay, so there was that cool couch. I don't know if you saw the video. There was that couch, and I was like, okay. Yep. And there's the beautiful bed with the cushions. Yes. Oh, and I wrapped myself. I said, oh, I have this gold cloth. So I just wrapped my body in a gold cloth, like, I don't know, and just kind of writhed on the bed, you know, and just kind of made it, you know, and it looked good. So whatever we were catching, we just wanted to make sure it looked good. And then on the couch, there was another lady there, and she's like, you got to wear these boots. I'm like, oh my God, they're like thigh high, you know, those, you know, like real. And I, you know, I never wear those, right? Like, where am I going to wear them? Right. So, and you know, that sexy thing, I was like, oh, wow. So we pieced that together. Then the swing was there. And so we kind of just picked the scenes, you know, and, you know, the location, it was all in one spot, and on what was I going to wear on the swing. And it just sort of took a bunch of shots everywhere. And I had a lot of fun. We played the music, and then he edited it with some of my direction, and it turned out great. I'm really happy. You know, sometimes things like that just turn out really great. Other times you can deliberate and plan and it doesn't turn out that good. I don't know. Especially with videos. I have another 5 singles after this one. 4 or 5 songs that I could release that have videos already I've done as well. So that I've directed and produced myself. So we'll see. But the video was really fun to do, and I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out.
Yeah, it is really cool. I've watched the music video for it. Yeah, very well done. Just like the music, you know, the video side of it, you know, everything, and where you shot in the house and stuff. It looks really cool. Like, yeah, the couch, the bed, everything. It just looks like a very cool place to be.
Yeah, the swing. Yeah. Yep. Everyone thinks that swing's in my house. I should tell them that.
You should.
Yeah, it's me. It's my house. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You see all that? Yeah, I definitely live there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. And yeah, the tie-in you said with the Brazilian, what was it?
Capoeira.
Capoeira.
Capoira. Capoeira.
Yeah, you explained all that. It kind of makes sense now at the beginning. You know, when you show the beginning of the music video, it's everything kind of ties in. You know, after
exactly, and then like in the chorus, the lyrics to the chorus came to me when I was cooking dinner. Even though they're really simple, and I normally write really anyway, I write different ways, but because I was writing to a track that already existed, I was just coming up with these melodies and all sorts of different words, and girl to boy, boy to girl, girl to girl, boy to boy, and all this kind of stuff. I thought, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Let me see if it worked, and it totally worked. And then so I got, you know, the capoeira, there's like girl to girl, boy to boy, and then girl to boy and capoeira. And you can take that into anywhere. You know, I mean, I have gay friends who absolutely love this song, right? So you could take it there, you can take it anywhere. You know, it's left up to people who it's whatever you want to get from it, right?
And that's kind of
all inclusive. Like, so if it's all inclusive to everybody, really, when you hear it. So
yeah, definitely. I picked that up when I was listening to it. Definitely, it includes every kind of, you take it in kind of any direction you really
exactly.
want. And that's kind of what music should be. It should be kind of up to like what the listener is feeling with stuff like that.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. But like so obviously you kind of talked about the writing process for Love to the World, but like with obviously you have some other songs that you've, as you said, you've already filmed music videos for that I'm really looking forward to seeing and stuff. But like, what is kind of your writing process like for like the upcoming songs you have?
Normally, my writing process is I'll sit at the piano and I'll come up with, if I'll sit and I'll play a few chords and I'll find some chords that I love, and then I'll just progress it and I'll sort of just loop it around and come up with a melody right away. And then, you know, if I absolutely love it, then I'll start to think about words after. So I write the words last, depending on what the vibe of the song is and what it's drawing out of me at that time.
It's very cool. I've interviewed a few musicians, and they say like the music comes first because then you can tell a better story when you hear the music.
Exactly, and exactly. It's opposite of how I went to Nashville a few times and wrote with some amazing people there, and on Music Row, and their way of writing was they start with the title, and then they write from the title, which was such a huge education for me, sitting there with these big shots, big wigs, you know, they come with the title and they're like, okay. And they like from 10 till 2 is your writing time. And they'll leave at 2:00 with a song that's just incredible. And writing from a title. So that was really neat. You know?
It sounds like an experience. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I make so like for my stuff, I just have like so basic titles that be like, okay, that's my title. All right.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's really good. And a lot of people have different writing styles, as like we've kind of been talking about. So, so I mean, it's just cool to hear like how people do it. But a lot of musicians I've interviewed start with build the lyrics after the song is kind of mostly completed, at least instrumentally.
Exactly. With me, I come with the melody, and the melody has an indication of what the words might be. Right. Mm-hmm. It has like, and then it pulls it out of me. So that's normally how I write. And then I'll start coming into just cool phrases, and if the phrase matching the energy and the vibe of the music emotionally, if it connects, and if it makes me go, oh God, oh that, you know what I mean? If I give myself goosebumps, then I know it's going to be okay.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Pleasure, really.
If you give yourself goosebumps, you know, like this is good. This is where I want
to be. That's right.
But as you kind of talked about before, we talked about Love to the World, about having like inspiration at like 2 a.m. or like middle of the night and stuff.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. Like, all right, I'm about to go to bed, and it's like my brain's like, no, wait a minute, we're gonna do this now. We have an idea of how we're gonna do this. I'm like, all right, fine. I guess I have to stay up till 3 a.m. now.
Yeah. Exactly. Sometimes that happens, you know, it doesn't let you go, and you're just going, oh, but that's creativity and inspiration. It comes at times that your brain might not. I think it's beyond our brain. It's energetics. It's coming from somewhere else through us, and if we don't catch it, then it's gone. Right?
Exactly. Especially like, yeah, if you have an idea and like, oh, I'll remember it. I go to bed and then gone. So no, I totally feel it. And that's what happened to me a lot this week. Like, all right, bedtime. And it's like, nope, I got to finish editing this. Exactly. I got to finish writing this out or planning this. And it's just like, I got to do it because I'm inspired to do it. And I know I'm not going to have either like time to do it tomorrow, or it's just not going to be as good if I don't do it now.
Exactly. And then the next day you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? Why didn't I just do it? Right? Why didn't I just do it? Yeah. I've had a lot of sleepless nights that were full of inspiration, but that I've had a lot of mornings where I kicked myself, you know, but what I do is I sleep with a pen and a paper, like a book next to my bed. So if I ever wake up with something, I can write it down. Even in the dark, I'll write, like it's big enough so I open it up. So if I write, I can make out what it is in the morning. So sometimes I'm just looking at the scribble, but I can still remember it. But do you ever come up with symphonies or like complete productions in your head when you're sleeping, when you're dreaming?
Not. I don't really dream too much.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't. But I've heard people who do. A lot of musicians and artists do that. Yeah.
I wish I could just have an output into, you know, into audio, like from my dreams. There are times that's happened, but then in the morning it's completely evaporated. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like, oh, that was such a good dream. I just can't remember what it was.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I feel you for having sleepless nights and stuff. Like I was out of town most of last week with covering concerts and stuff. So then like I come back this week, so I got to finish this, got to finish this, got to finish this, and so yeah, this week's been a little busy. Just trying to catch up on all the work because I was having fun.
Right. So what city are you in or town?
South Bend, Indiana.
Oh, wow. How you liking it there?
I'm born and raised here, so
Nice.
can't really complain too much. It's kind of nice. We don't get too many concerts here anyway, but at least I'm in kind of close distance to like Michigan, Illinois, and Southern Indiana, where I can travel like an hour or two, and I can get to a concert. So it doesn't really, not really too bad for me. But it's also where I've grown up, so I like it, I guess.
Exactly. How far are you from Toronto? I'd have to look on a map.
You're over New York, right?
Yes.
Toronto? Okay. That's 10 hours, something like that. Not sure. I do know to Pennsylvania is about 10 hours, so it's probably closer to 14 or 15, I want to say.
Yeah, probably.
I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I haven't. Farthest I've kind of gone. I went to West Virginia a couple of years ago, which they have wonderful looking like nature, and it's beautiful out there. Once you get out out of the city and stuff, it's the nature over there, the rivers. It's beautiful.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. So yeah, I do want to go back sometime eventually because like I really like being out in nature, especially like just like no one around, just me and nature. It's a really nice feeling.
I love it. That's why I moved out of Toronto, because I can get into that. I can get into nature from where I am at now, within a 15-minute drive.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really close. So yeah.
That's really awesome. I haven't. I used to like last year, so there wasn't much going on last year. I wasn't very busy, obviously, and I would actually just take walks. We have a nice river walk that's like 20 minutes away from me in Mishawaka, which is a city next to me. And I would just kind of walk out there because it's just so nice, and I kind of nice to get away from everything. Don't look at my phone, just me by myself. It was really nice.
Yeah. That's important. It's
important.
important.
Especially like I'm like looking at my phone all the time and like have to email people, contact people. It's nice to get away from all that and just like enjoy nature, because like that's kind of just like the basic thing is nature, is just to enjoy it.
I know, like the movie Social Dilemma. Have you seen it, or the documentary?
I've not, no.
You should watch Social Dilemma. If you watch it, it's about all of that and what it's doing to everybody. Really, we need to really connect back to who we are.
Yeah, that I've heard like there's like studies like people like kind of my age and younger, like they don't know how to have a conversation with people unless it's like through a text message or stuff.
Exactly. It's debilitating on many levels, and it's getting out of control, actually. I don't.
Yeah, and like
it's right out of control.
Yeah,
what are you gonna do? Oh my gosh.
And to me, I have to do digital interviews because obviously I can't afford to travel all the time. But
exactly.
I love actually like getting to talk to people either face to face or obviously how I'm doing it right now. But it's so nice to actually have a conversation with people that's not just words on a screen.
Exactly, it's normal.
Yeah.
And the pandemic didn't help either, because now people are so isolated, or were isolated, and if they weren't addicted to social media before, or screens, or gadgets, or digital whatever, they are now, right? Like kids, like everyone. I know we have to be careful.
Oh yeah, especially like everyone's so concerned about like what everything's going on in the internet instead of like here right now. Especially like if you can meet people, if you can get together, enjoy that, because like you don't know when your last day of getting to meet that person will be.
I know, that's true. Exactly. I know, it's bizarre. It's actually bizarre when you think about it.
It is. Yeah. Like people are more addicted to stuff online than they are in real life when you actually get to talk to somebody.
That's right. I know.
It's very odd, and I just see it getting worse, especially just like especially like this week I've noticed like so there's been a lot of like unnecessary like hatred online for stuff, and it's just like, why? Like what's the point? There is no point.
I know. It's such a waste. It really is. I mean, wow. Life, it's about the human connection, and so if that's not there, then it's like living in a sort of this insulated, isolated, it doesn't feel real, right? So
Yeah.
I know the kids growing up, they're having a hard time dealing, like just having a conversation with another person on the street, right?
Yeah, that's why like it's just interesting. People like my age and like stuff is just like they can't even like really talk to somebody unless it's just like a text message or
Well,
like a note.
the answer exactly. Yeah, that's so. I know.
Yeah, it's just like conversation, especially having good conversation, like having a podcast, like something I do occasionally. Uh, it's really cool, especially to talk about like stuff you like. You really get to learn about people. You get to learn about me. It's really cool. It's really interesting, and I feel like that's kind of going away. The more there's the more like internet, like the more like text messages and emails and stuff that people actually like use compared to actually talking to people.
Yes. Yes. I know. Well, that's good that you're aware of it and you see it, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I've tried to have conversation with people and they just don't know what to say, and so it's just like just talk about what you like. I mean, especially like if we're at a place, we're probably at the same place we like. If we're at a concert, I mean, obviously you probably came here because you like a band. I don't see you wandering in here just for fun. Maybe you did, but it would be an interesting story.
Exactly. I know. Well, that's really good you're aware of it, so keep it up.
Yeah, that's all I can do. But yeah, I love having conversations with people or just like being out in nature. It's just the small stuff that like people I think just take for granted that it's always going to be there when it's probably fading faster than what you might think.
Yes, you're right.
So for sure. But thanks so much for hanging out there, talking, getting in deep here. Life and philosophy, which is awesome. I love it. But before I let you go, before I end this podcast, so like, what can we expect from Rosita Stone for the rest of this year? It's almost the end of July. Year's already half over.
I know. Well, we're gonna push the song like crazy, and just gonna get it out there. As people ask me, do you have another song? But yeah, I can't even think about that right now. Like when the next song, like we just released this one. I just released it. So the rest of the year, it's going to be just pushing this song, getting the song on as many radio stations as possible, TV stations. Yesterday I was on like Google News, Yahoo News, NBC affiliate ran story, and a whole bunch of news wires and media. And Maggie's been excellent in Latin America and Mexico, helping out with that. I had a ton of press. So it's just taking that and into, and then building, radio play. It's, partly there's like no rhyme or reason to any of it. You just have to just keep going and doing it because there's not like a roadmap to exactly how it's going to happen. You just have to keep pushing,
There are no instructions for life.
No, there's no instructions. So, but it's, through Chris Flores, he knows a man named Mark Nieter, Nieter, I think and he was for 25 years the Interscope director of national director who helped break, Billie Eilish and Lady Gaga, Eminem, 50 Cent. And Chris sent him a batch of songs, a few songs for him to hear. And the only thing he came back with it was that Love to the World, that's a hit. So I said to him yesterday, I said, can I use that as a quote? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to use that as a quote for radio. So you know what I mean? Like you got to use what you have and put it out there, Yeah. And another lady who's, she's the producer for Rock of Ages. I don't know if you've heard of the movie, but there's a Broadway show, and she's also a music supervisor and director, and Tony Award winner. And she absolutely loves the song so much that she wants to lock it into a production somehow. So they're sending him these emails and conversations. So I'm like, can I use that as a quote? I guess people do that still, right? They get quotes, like businesses, they have quotes of different people and testimonials. So I'm really proud of myself because last night I woke up and went, I got to do this, right?
It's really awesome. It really shows just how much hard work you and Chris went into
go. Yeah,
into working into producing this into the single. Like, it really shows, and I think people are really grasping onto it, especially just the emotions in it as well.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's nonstop, but it's just, we just got to keep going. I just got to keep going, right?
Oh yeah.
And bigger things will happen. I'm sure of it because I just have a feeling about it. So we're just going to keep pushing it and see what happens. I don't want to get too attached to the end result. Like, it has to be this, but it's going to fucking be the next global anthem. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing.
No, hey, don't worry about it.
The next global anthem. Come on,
Yeah, for sure. Especially that people have already grasped onto it. I've seen you've been making the rounds for media, so thank you so much for stopping by here as well. But yeah, you've been really busy pushing this since it's been released 2 weeks ago.
Yes, and there's a lot. There's still a few months, until I'm not. Major labels, they'll have like a plan. This is exactly how long. For me, it's like we're just going to push it until whenever. There's no plan of when it's going to stop. It's we're just going to keep going and make it happen. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly. And if it could be incorporated to a Broadway, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, you never know. Music supervisors, there's a couple that Chris has had like over 700, 800 placements in music and film, and from MTV to this and that. And he believes it's just a matter of time. So we'll see. So nothing's guaranteed, right? But at least the vibe and the energy is there, and that there's belief and people are excited, So let's see what happens.
It's about plugging in and see which one actually fits and actually make a connection. I mean, that's kind of what I do with my stuff too. Just got to find the right people to market it to and to actually direct it to.
That's right. Yay! Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. I'm gonna wrap this up. So for Rosita Stone, make sure to check out her brand new single, "Love to the World." I'll leave the link for the music video in the description. Check it out. It's really cool. A lot of cool visuals in there as well. And of course, I'm Matthew Thomas, the host of Super Cool Radio. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.